chapter 10, text 36. Go ahead, Aparna Mataji. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Dyutyam chalayatam tejasvinamaham jayosmi vavasayosmi sattvam sattvavatamaham. I am also the gambling of cheats and of the splendid. I am the splendor. I am victory. I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mataji.
So beautiful, Mataji. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it was very, very nice. Such a beautiful voice you have.
Oh, thank you so much. This is the first time I'm ever chanting. I'm like a trained classical singer. I would not say trained, but I like singing. So I'm I just sung in something I don't know if I even matched the so I was like, okay, let me just give a try. So I just tried it. Thank you.
Very beautiful. I'm also the gambling of the cheats and the splendor. I am the of the splendid. I'm the splendor. I'm victory. I'm adventure, and I'm the strength of the strong. So there are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe. Of all cheating persons, gambling stands supreme and therefore represents Krishna. Imagine that. As a supreme, Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided, it is all-sided. So we know that story about Krishna, how he got the name Ranchor. Anybody knows?
Share.
What was the name of the demon? I'm forgetting. Who he was chasing? Kalyavan. Right. Thank you, ma. So Kalyavan, he was Ravana's relative, and he kept on attacking Krishna multiple times. Krishna defeated him multiple times. He would gather up the troops, keep coming, get defeated. So last time, what Krishna did was, Krishna saw, because the devotees in Mathura were getting disturbed by all these attacks. So Krishna decided to take Kalyavan for a ride. So he and Balaram came to the scene without any army. And Krishna said, okay, let's not kill innocent army. Why don't you and I fight it out, man to man? Kalyamana said, very good, I'll do that. And Krishna started running from the battlefield. Krishna ran. Kalyamana chased him, called him all kinds of bad names. It's like, you're running from the battlefield. This is not what Kshatriyas do. You can't just run. You so coward, this, that. And he named him Ranachor. Rana means battle. Chor means one who is a thief. So Krishna led Kalyavan into this cave. I have been to that cave. I'll share stories later, share pictures later on. So it's this cave inside which there was this personality who was sleeping. So again, sorry, forgive me. The name escapes me. So this personality, he was a great warrior who had helped the demigods in war of the heavenly realms. Now, as you know, the time zone is different, heaven versus earth. So as he was fighting the war over there, after the war was finished, the demigods asked, so what can we give you? He said, I'm too tired. I want to go see my family. It's like, oh, forget your family. Many generations of your family have already passed away. Your family is not even there, but many generations have passed away. So there is nobody left from your family. And so this man was very sad to hear that. He said, okay, I'm tired. I just want to sleep. So give me a blessing that nobody disturbs me. And if anybody disturbs me, I look at the person who wakes me up, that person will be burned to ashes. So Krishna, so this person, many decades later or millennia later, he's still there in the cave sleeping, and Krishna knows about it. So Krishna brings Kalyavana to that cave, and the cape Krishna was wearing, this upper cloth, it was very distinctive. So Krishna put that upper cloth on this gentleman who had the blessing that anybody who wakes him up would burn to ashes. So Kalyavana saw this person in the cave lying there, and he kicked. He said, "Ha, you're Krishna. You're hiding from me. You think with that cape, with upper cloth, you'll be able to hide from me?" And he kicked him. And this person woke up. He looked at Kalyavana and burnt him to ashes. So it was a trick, right? Without fighting the war, he just got this guy into a cave and got him killed. So Krishna is quite a trickster. So those who are cheaters, Krishna cheats them real good. So Prabhupada always says, don't try to cheat Krishna, because he's the biggest of cheaters. So he's the best in everything. It's not one-sided, it's all-sided. I like that very much. Krishna is not just all goody good, everything is good. All the so-called negative things also come from him only. So of all the cheating propensities, gambling is considered the highest, and as a result, that represents Krishna, not in a good way, of course. So why is gambling such a bad thing? Now, let's talk about gambling a little bit in a deeper way. So we think gambling means going to the casino and playing the roulette, right? That's of course one form of gambling. But another form of gambling is gambling with our lives. When we don't take guidance and we make decisions and then we regret later on. I meet people every single day who come to me saying, randomly they're spending money on this course, that opportunity, this thing. Anybody says spend money here, they're spending money and hoping to God it will all work out. And generally it doesn't, they get cheated. And that's called gambling, gambling with life. So the way not to gamble is make decisions under proper guidance, after proper research, right? When we're buying a laptop, we do a lot of research. We ask our friends, we look at the reviews on Amazon, we talk to experts, and then we go ahead and buy something. So why not with life, right? So that's very important to understand. So gambling, if you're gambling with a time, if you're gambling with a life, if you're gambling with our money, we're cheating ourselves basically, right? Now, if you're gambling with somebody else's money, somebody else's life, it's even worse. So like Barney Madoff, like in jail forever, 200 years sentence, or this Vijay Mallya and people like that. They're gambling with other people's lives, which is far, far worse, right? But gambling nevertheless. So gambling is considered a very terrible thing where you're putting things out on luck, and we don't believe in luck as devotees. We believe in karma, right? But gambling is basically giving it to the chance that this way or that way, and that's not a very healthy thing to do. So Krishna says, of all kinds of cheats, gambling represents them. Among the victorious, he is victory. He is the splendor of the splendid. Among the enterprising and industrious, he is the most enterprising entrepreneur, the most industrious. Among adventurers, he is the most adventurous. Among the strong, he is the strongest. When Krishna was present on earth, no one could surpass him in strength. Even in his childhood, he lifted Govardhan Hill. Imagine that. No one can surpass him in cheating. No one can surpass him in splendor. No one can surpass him in victory. And no one can surpass him in enterprise. No one can surpass him in strength. So another cheating story of Krishna. So this cowherd lady, she would always complain to Mother Yashoda, Krishna comes and steals my butter. Mother Yashoda is like, I make the best butter in Vrindavan. Why would my son come to your house to steal your butter? She's like, I'll give you proof. And she put bells all around her house, all the windows, all the doors, wherever Krishna could enter. If Krishna entered, there'd be bells. Krishna knew it. Krishna came with his friends and his monkey friends, and he asked the demigod of bells, said, okay, you will not ring. As I steal butter, I enter, open the door, you will not ring. Demigod of bell, who's dressed in bells, he is like, yes, my dear Lord, will not ring. So Krishna comes in, no bell rings. Krishna stacks up on his friends and goes and hits the matki, the butter pot. So they're like all happy and they start eating the butter. And as soon as Krishna starts eating the butter, all the bells starts ringing. The whole house bell is ringing. And Krishna is like, I told you not to ring. He said, well, the scriptures say when you eat, bell is supposed to ring. So, that's why we offer bells when Krishna is eating, right? So like that's the scripture. Krishna is like, okay, scripture says that you can't obviously disobey the scriptures. So this lady comes, the gopi, she's like, got you, Krishna, caught you red-handed. So got Krishna's hand and covered Krishna up with her pallu and brought Krishna to Mother Yashoda. And it's like, see, Yashoda, you always wanted proof that Krishna does all this stealing business. I got you proof. So Mother Yashoda was like, what proof? Let's see. And as soon as she lifted the pallu, it was her son, not Krishna. Mother Yashoda was like, oh, my dear, you are stressed out. You're seeing your son as my son. That's your son. He's stealing your butter at your house. What's the problem? And she was completely perplexed. It's like, I thought this was Krishna. I clearly remember catching Krishna by the arm. How come? So she was completely dumbstruck. Everybody was laughing at her. And she was walking away from Mother Yashoda's house, confused. Like, I caught Krishna. And then again, her son became Krishna. And then Krishna said, next time you try to do this, I'll become your husband. Then you'll be even more embarrassed. And she's like, oh my God. So Krishna is deceitful also. And in his own sweet way. When Krishna does it, of course, we glorify that deceit. Actually, they look forward to that deceit. That's the beauty of it. There's nothing wrong in Krishna. Even if he does so-called wrong things, it's very, very sweet. It has the divine element working. When somebody else steals somebody else's property, that's a different story. Anyway, and Krishna, when he steals a heart, that's it. Rupa Goswami says, do not go on the bank of Yamuna on the full moon night where that blue boy is playing his flute. Because if you go there, he will steal your heart. Any material desires you have won't be there anymore. All the things you want to do for material pleasure won't exist anymore in your life. You'll be maddened by the love of this blue boy playing the flute on the bank of Yamuna. So if you want anything to do with material life, do not go and see that boy in Vrindavan, right? It's another way. It's like, what do they call in marketing? Reverse psychology, right? So Rupa Goswami is using reverse psychology to attract us to Krishna. But that's Krishna. He steals our heart. He's sometimes deceitful. Like in my case, I thought I will not become Krishna conscious. During my college days, I loved my mentor and the association and the prasadam and the philosophy. And I was very sure as my startup takes off and I graduate from college, there'll be no more Prabhuji, there'll be no more Krishna consciousness, and I'll be back to my meat eating and whatnot, and everything else that I wanted to do. So I was deceived, of course. I was cheated by Krishna. What happened? As my third year and fourth year, we started gaining traction in my startup, and we were going to all these college campuses, winning competitions. And so me and Yashodanandana, my best friend, we would be like, okay, no more meat eating during these competitions to please Krishna, right? We'll be all vegetarian during the weekends. And like that, we started, it was like Thursday to Sunday, we were like vegetarians. And then soon thereafter, my fourth year, what happened was there were so many devotee activities, so many programs that even we had extra leftovers. And because we were students, they would give us all the packed food, palak paneer, gulab jamuns, all the best food you can imagine. So we would anyway not go to campus food. We would just finish off all the food that we had left over. So it so happened by my last semester, Monday to Sunday, every day there was extra prasadam. And I had a scholarship for free food because I was a resident advisor. RA. There was all these credits left over. So I was throwing parties to my friends, like go, eat whatever you want on my thing. And we were eating prasadam. And before we knew, we were only eating prasadam. And then once we graduated, we got our own apartment and everything. We were offering food to Krishna and eating only prasadam. And we became devotees and we couldn't run away from Prabhuji, and life became what it is today. So although I wanted to cheat Krishna, Krishna cheated me back into Krishna consciousness. I'm so grateful for it. But that's how he is. He steals our heart. And if there's slightest bit of desire to be with Krishna, he will find his tricks. He will find ways to trap us and get us into Krishna consciousness. But if there's envy, if there's offense within the heart for other devotees, then he'll find a way to kick us out also, right? That's how Krishna functions. So his deceit is also very, very sweet. And as he said, I'm the splendid, I'm the splendor. So all the good things you see, all the victory you see, somebody winning a match, somebody doing something, Krishna is saying, I'm the victory of the victor. I'm the splendor of the splendid. I'm the strength of the strong. You see Arnold Schwarzenegger being very, very strong. You imagine Krishna lifting Govardhan Hill with his pinky of his left hand, right? Not even right hand, left hand. So that shows strength. Even when he would kill the demons, Krishna would just laughingly slap them or kick them or something, and they would die. It's not like how you see on TV, where Krishna's fighting, sweating, all that. It's not like that. For Krishna, baby Krishna, it was plaything for him. Every day he would be like eating with his friends, playing with the calves. Then the demons would come. He would kill the demons very laughingly, jokingly, like it's nothing. Again, that shows strength, right? When you are really not strong, you're like, a lot of effort. But when you're Krishna, like, you're dead. Even with Kamsa was so strong that he could take elephants, turn them around and throw them. That's how Kamsa's father-in-law got so impressed and gave his daughter to Kamsa to marry. It's like, whoa, he just saw an elephant, like crashed next to him, crash landed. It's like, who threw this elephant? Oh, Kamsa. Wow, this is a strong man. He's a fit person for my daughter. And that comes, Krishna went to his thing. Chanura Mushtika came to kill Krishna. They were like bodybuilders of the time. The strongest men Kamsa had. Krishna killed them, no problem. He was only 11 years old, I think. He walked up to Kamsa's throne, slapped Kamsa and killed him, and then dragged him by the head just to make sure everybody knows Kamsa is dead. So, hero, right? So that's Krishna. He's a splendor of the splendid, he's a strength of the strong. So when you see something beautiful, somebody winning something, you can always appreciate Krishna. Like, wow, that is representing Krishna, right? I'm adventured. Oh, this is something we will, those of us are sincere, will get plenty of experience in this, because Krishna is truly adventurous. You want to be a devotee, he will drag you through so much adventure, because he enjoys when we call out, Krishna, help, right? So he drags us through adventure. So you will eventually learn to appreciate the adventures he takes us through. Initially, it's a little scary. Oh God, what's going to happen? Is Krishna really going to save me? But eventually it becomes a joyride. I have this every time I go to, somebody drags me to this amusement parks. I don't like going to amusement parks, but sometimes, peer pressure. And then they would put me on the worst thing, those roller coaster rides. I hate them. So initially it's like, I don't want to get on it. I don't want to, and it's like, it's going up, going down, and I'm like praying. I'm like, oh God, this is going to be the end of me. But then when it goes down, that adrenaline rush is like, oh wow, this was so good. Let's do it again, right? It's kind of like that with Krishna also. He takes us through these purifications where we might have certain attachments, and he takes us through these purifications where those attachments gets, snarled away from us, and we are becoming freer by the minute. But unless we go through some difficult situation, those attachments, those bad habits, those negative qualities won't go. So sometimes Krishna puts us through those difficult situations. And if we can hold on to Krishna's hand through those difficult situations and remember this line that Krishna is adventure, then life becomes joyful. So you go through those difficulties. Right now I'm losing money on stock market. Every day is like lower. I'm like, oh God, it's like the portfolio. I don't want to look at it. Every day I look at it, 10 o'clock, I'm like, oh God, this is like getting worse every day. But this is a joyride. Krishna is there and he says, Matra sparshas tu kaunteya, shita ushna, sukha dukhada. So, it's like summer and winter. So bad times are happening in stock market. Good times are also going to come. We are going into recession right now. Again, there's going to be, during the election, good times will happen. They'll do all good things and economy will boost. Fine. We'll make money in the long run. But, does it get scary? Yes. That's the variety in life. That's what is enjoyable about life. If it was all goody good, we would not be grateful. We would not be happy when things are happy. I know a lot of very, very wealthy people who are very depressed because they have no problems. Their life is so good. There's no adventure. There is no ups. There's no downs, only ups, right? And somebody else is running the company. somebody else is cleaning the dishes, somebody is making the food for them, and they're like, what am I doing? Why is there nothing exciting in my life? Because there is nothing to struggle for, and without struggle, one doesn't feel that sense of triumph, the sense of victory, the sense of like I've achieved something, right? That is not there. So a lot of people who are filthy rich by birth go through depression, and everybody else looks down upon them like, my God, you couldn't be more spoiled. You have everything everybody dreams of, and look at you, you're going through depression, taking medication. But it's not their fault, because they don't have adventure in life. They don't have anything. It's so secure, nothing could go wrong. And as a result, there is that sense of, uncertainty is lacking. So not saying we need any more than we already have. We are not from such backgrounds, but a negative situation can become a joyride when we understand Krishna as adventure, and he's taking us through an adventurous ride. And Krishna consciousness is not necessarily us, that our lives would have to be adventurous. Even when you're doing a service, you will realize there are so many impediments. One time, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami, who's Prabhupada's one of his foremost trusted, disciples, like soldier-like disciple, who and Jayapratika Maharaj, both of them made the Mayapur project happen. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj came in with 3 other sannyasis from US to help Prabhupada in Mayapur. And one day Tamal Krishna Maharaj came and broke down in front of Prabhupada. And he said, Prabhupada, these other 3 persons are supposed to do their service, but they're not doing it. They're just enjoying themselves. I'm having to do 4 people's job all by myself, 4 people's service all by myself. And it's so difficult and da-di-da-di-da. And he broke down and he was crying. And he was looking up to Prabhupada to see some sympathy or something. And Prabhupada looked at him and he was laughing. Prabhupada was laughing. And he's like, Prabhupada, I thought you would understand. I'm going through some terrible situation. Prabhupada said, you're most fortunate. You're most fortunate because you're taking up difficulty for Krishna, right? Your life is perfect. You don't have to do this. You're doing this voluntarily for Krishna. And that pleases Krishna so much that, wow, look at him. He doesn't have to do this. He's taking up difficulty just for me. And that's when Krishna's mercy comes. So it's glorious what you're doing, and you should be, happy that you have this opportunity to take up difficulties for Krishna. And that's very true, because we deal with, although it's ISKCON and we have created something, and there's politics everywhere. There's difficulties everywhere. There are people who are causing trouble everywhere, right? It happens, and you struggle through things, and you realize, why am I doing this? I'm volunteering myself. Nobody's paying me for it. Nobody's, even when you're preaching, right? You're sharing Krishna Katha to somebody, and somebody's going to push you back. Why did Krishna say this? Why women less intelligent? Why this? Why that? Why this? And you're like getting gali for something you've not done, right? But you take it on because you love Krishna, right? Voluntarily, you take on difficulties. And it becomes an adventure. Sometimes your life can be threatened, right? And people take up that for Krishna. And it's a joyride, because as you take on that adventure and you go through these and you see people's hearts transform, people who are negative towards Krishna becoming positive, and you see Krishna's magic working through people's lives. Like, whoa, this is mind-blowing. This is literally watching a miracle happen in front of my eyes. And I have been very fortunate. Over the last 15 years, I've seen so many such miracles happen. So many lives transformed, so many things. I was like, wow, that adventure was worth it, right? One time we were doing Krishna lunch project, basically prasadam on campus, right? Only for $5. Like what a restaurant would charge like $20, we were selling for $5 because our cost is only vegetables. Or everybody who cooks and all are volunteers. We were like, we have to get prasadam on campus. Started with my campus, of course, because we have the most strength there. And then after a year of doing it, Sodexo, which is a very large multi-billion-dollar corporation, which basically provides food to colleges and prisons, right? They got upset with us. They're like, we have a contract with your university, and we are supposed to be the exclusive food providers. So ISKCON is providing food, and that's not fair. And there was a big tussle between them and us, and we got all the students, and it was a big war that was happening. Students were supporting us, and VVS got our organization is called Vedic Mission Society, which is basically a ISKCON on campus. We got the most publicity because of this particular tussle, and people who wouldn't otherwise eat Krishna lunch were also coming just to support us, right? And in this war zone, we were studying Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chand Kazi, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Chand Kazi things. We were reading all of these little struggles in history of Krishna consciousness that devotees had taken over to get inspiration to fight this war. And eventually we won the war. And till date, Prasadam is big distributed on campus every single day. Monday to Friday, not every single day. And it was such a great experience. Again, it was very powerful dealing with Chicago police, dealing with university administration. I am extremely well respected in my university, and I was losing that respect because I was pushing for this nonprofit to sell food on campus, right? But didn't matter. We went all out with it and we won. So the point is, sometimes you are thinking like, why am I doing this? But it's an adventure. And when you come out of it, you see how many lives got transformed because of that adventure. And like, it was all worth it. It was all worth it because of this. So many people have come, so many lives have transformed, so many people who didn't know about Krishna are knowing about it. And it's such a experience. You realize looking back, wow, that was so well worth it. So Krishna is adventure. I am the adventure and I am the strength of the strong. He provides us a strength with which we can handle these adventures. A lot of times we wonder, Krishna Arpachna, Krishna can't do this anymore, right? Too much. Like I have had this, like Krishna, I think I've gone beyond my point. I've, if there's a rubber band, it's already torn kind of situation. But my mentor always told me, like, Ajita, Krishna will never give you something you cannot handle. He will always stretch you more than you can handle so that your strength grows. Only then you grow. Like when you go to the gym, right? It's always your fitness instructor will push you beyond, just a little bit beyond your ability. So these muscles, they kind of almost about to tear. So that's stretching, then food comes in, nourishment comes in and grows stronger. So like that, Krishna will always push us beyond our ability. And that will allow us, Krishna, please really help. And in that stretching, we will get more nourishment from Krishna, and our strength, our faith, everything will grow. And we'll be like, glad that happened. I feel much closer to Krishna now. So going through difficulties, don't see difficulties as a negative thing. See them as opportunities to getting closer to Krishna, opportunities to strengthen our relationship with Krishna, and opportunities to grow qualities, especially patience, tolerance, respect, humility, quality, kindness, compassion, qualities like that. A devotee is supposed to have 26 qualities. Right? So you see what are those qualities, and you're like, I would love to have this quality. I would love to have. So when you are in difficult situation, it's much easier to develop those qualities. Right? All right. I don't wish difficulty on anyone, but even if you don't wish it on anyone, difficulty just comes, right? That's how the world works. So yes, Prabhu.
I have a few questions. So we were discussing about Kamsa's, what happened to Kamsa, right? But Kamsa is considered as one of the highest devotee because he was always engrossed in Krishna's thoughts. Right?
No.
Is
he
that
was never considered highest of devotees.
Okay.
He's a demon.
But he was always in Krishna consciousness.
In a negative way.
But is that not enough to qualify him?
Is that enough to get to Brahmajyoti? That's why he got killed by Krishna. He's so fortunate.
So would he be considered as a devotee then?
No.
Okay.
Devotee means one who has love for Krishna.
Okay.
So Brahmajyoti is filled with demons like that. That's why we don't want to go to Brahmajyoti. It's who goes to Brahmajyoti? Demons killed by Krishna. That's a max they can hope for. Without love for Krishna, without prema, you can't enter Vaikuntha. What to speak of Goloka? You won't fit in. Just because you're negatively thinking about. So Kamsa was Kala Nemi in his past life, right? Again, demon. So he's hardcore demon who hates Krishna. Shishupal, hardcore demon who hates Krishna. So such people cannot be called devotees just because they were thinking of Krishna. They're thinking of Krishna, and as a purification, they got killed by Krishna. At least didn't go to hell.
Okay. Okay.
But that doesn't mean they're devotees.
Okay. Okay, got it. So the second question that I have is, you said that Krishna takes puts us in difficult situations for us to grow, and
He doesn't put us in difficult situations. Difficult situations come just because that's how this world is designed. Happiness, distress, hot, cold, winter, summer.
Okay. Oh, so did I not interpret that correctly then? So okay. Because I was under the impression that if you're going through a difficult situation, I did not know if that is because of the decisions that we have taken, or is it because of...
It's both. Because we are not pure devotees, we are not fully in Krishna consciousness. So there is karma still impacting us. And there's Krishna who's also protecting us. So what Krishna does is, he takes our karmic situation and uses it as a training mechanism for us to grow qualities, to become strong. Because he's very smart. He can take any situation and make the most of it. Like entrepreneurs. Pandemic, we are like, money making time. Good times, money making time. So one who is a baniya, who is an entrepreneur, will find any opportunity in any situation and make money.
Okay.
So Krishna is like that. He takes our karmic situation and uses as an opportunity to help us show, look, I'm here. All you're going through difficulty, I'm not going to take that away. I'm going to walk you through it. And you'll feel my presence. And it could have been much worse, but I'll make it much more enjoyable experience for you. I'll give you the strength so you can go through it.
Okay.
Arjun was fully empowered by Krishna to win that war. After Krishna left this planet, Arjun had a small task of taking some ladies from Gujarat to some other place. Dacoits attacked and Arjun couldn't protect him. And then Arjun was, what's going on? I am supposed to be the biggest archer. I'm supposed to be the biggest warrior. And then he realized, oh, all this time I have been empowered by Krishna. It's not me. Now Krishna is not there. My strength is not there.
Okay.
So difficult situations by karma, Krishna provides empowerment, strength to go through it and come out victorious.
So how can we interpret it as adventure? I mean, I'm not
A
understanding.
sense of uncertainty. God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Am I going to come out of it? Am I going to die? Am I going to fail? Am I going to not go through it? Right? Scary, right? Even we have faith, still it's like, will Krishna remember me? Will I make it through? Right? That's adventure. It's like roller coaster. God, it's going up, going up. It's going to go down. I'm going to so die. I'm going to fall off. What if this time the accident happens?
Okay.
Adventure. So same way, life also gives us that kind of adventure, right?
Okay. Understood.
Radharani is fully secure. Krishna, Prahlad Maharaj is fully secure. Oh, Krishna, he's not even bothered. He's falling from the mountain. He's like, who cares? For him, it's not even adventure. He's not even noticing it. He's so much in remembrance of the Lord.
Oh, yes. Understood. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody has?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question. You were just talking about stock market, and we started the class with something called that gambling. So, do you consider stock market, putting the money in stock market, as gambling? One. Second is betting, which is betting in cricket, like putting the money into cricket, is also considered as gambling? Because it was not legal in India before, but now it is legalized and the advertisements are also coming in the television. So how do we consider it? Is it bad, or like what it is?
So when we leave it to chance, it is gambling. When it's educated, it's not gambling. So when I said gambling with life is not making decisions without guidance, without reviews, without research. Similarly, if you're investing in the stock market without research, you're like, let's invest in such and such stock and hope to God it grows. That's gambling, right? Start a business, hope to God it grows. Gambling. Betting on cricket, gambling, because you don't have any way of researching or figuring out if today whatever cricketer is in the best shape or not. will perform. So it's gambling. But when there's education, so when I invest in a stock, it's not trading that I do. I invest and forget. Because what I realize is when I'm putting money in the bank, what is the bank doing with my money? They're putting it in partly in stocks, partly in bonds, partly in whatever else. They're loaning money out. My money they're using and they're making money. Why should I not put my money from my savings account into the stock market directly and make money from it? So that's what I do. I do a lot of research before investing. I look at the charts, I look at the history, look at the fundamentals and everything else. I wait for several weeks, look at their trend, and then with proper decision, I invest. So that takes away the gambling component. Gambling is whimsical.
And regarding betting also, I would like to say this. There is a lot of research. You said there is no research because I don't know, but because you've never done that. But a person who's doing it, there is a lot of research in betting in cricket also. And there are sites, there is a lot of, I don't know, written material also, PDF files also available for IPL and all. And the people are doing a lot of research and then putting money. It's not that they're putting money, because if it is hard-earned money, and that a person is going to putting a lot of effort. So what should we consider? Like
Again, it is not about cricket or stock market. It is about the tendency, the mindset, right? It is about the mindset. If it is random, based on luck, hope to God it works, it's betting, it's gambling. If it is researched, under guidance, under proper understanding, then it is educated. So it's really, nobody can say, oh, you're a gambler, unless you're really holding the slot machine, which is really luck. There's no research you can do when you're pulling the slot machine lever, right? Similarly, now I don't know about cricket betting. You're absolutely right. Never done it. Don't want to do it either. But I wouldn't want to bet on a single game where I cannot predict what's going to happen and whatnot. So, but if somebody can do it with proper education or whatever, that's the mindset is what matters. So if the mindset is based on luck, is gambling. If it's based on education, guidance, research, then it is like any other business.
Prabhu, is luck not considered as mercy of Krishna? I don't know. I thought
Krishna only cares about one thing. He cares about us coming back to him. And if that requires us to have $1 million or $0, that's his mercy. For some of us, we feel encouraged. When we have money, we remember Krishna. For some of us, when we don't have money, we remember Krishna. One of my mentees said, oh, your friend actually, Harish, he once said, oh, whenever there's a difficulty, I remember Krishna. And my best friend told him, oh, then Krishna will keep putting a difficulty so you can remember him. It's like, oh, that's scary. So remember him normal times also. You know, so it's Krishna's mercy comes in the form of him connecting us more deeply, hugging us more closely, because that's what all he cares about, us coming back to him. And for us, whatever this material world maintenance, sustenance, and all that, he can enable, disable as he sees fit. But that's our karma also, our intention also is very, very important there. Krishna cares. He's not cruel. He cares what we want. He understands that we need certain, certain requirements. We all have different requirements, and accordingly, Krishna provides.
understood.
Okay. Shupri, you have a question? You're muted. I can't hear you.
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. All right. I think there are some. I have two questions. Matji asked already. Akshat Prabhuji, we have to pray to strength. Yes, we should pray. We should pray to Lord Jagannath for strength. Jagannath Rath Yatra is coming up. All right. Moving on to the next verse. 1037. Somebody want to read?
Hi, Prabhuji. I can try once again.
Go ahead.
Vrishninam Vasudevosmi Pandavanam Dhananjaya मुनीनामप्यहं व्यासः कवीनाम् उसना कविः मुनीनामप्यहं व्यासः कवीनामुसना कविः. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers, I am Usana.
Thank you so much, Mach. Of the descendants of Vrishni, the Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Baladeva is Krishna's immediate expansion. Both Lord Krishna and Baladev appeared as sons of Vasudeva. So both of them may be called Vasudeva. Sorry, appeared as sons of Vasudeva, and they're called Vasudeva. From another point of view, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, all forms of Krishna that appear elsewhere are his expansions. Vasudeva is Krishna's immediate expansion. So Vasudeva is not different from Krishna. It is to be understood that Vasudeva referred to in this verse of Bhagavad Gita is Baladeva or Balaram, because he is the original source of all incarnations. Original source of all incarnations, and thus he is the sole source of Vasudeva. The immediate expansion of the Lord are called Swamsha, personal expansion, and there are also expansions called Vibhinnamsa, separated expansions. So among the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Right? So Krishna says, among the sons of Pandu, Arjuna is famous as Dhananjaya. He is the best of men, therefore represents Krishna. Among the Munis of learned, conversant in Vedic knowledge, Vyasa is the greatest, because Vyasa obviously knows the entire Vedic knowledge, and he has understood it, and he has been able to compile all of that into the format that we have today. So Vyasa is the most learned of all the sages. So Vyasa represents Krishna. Vyasa is the greatest because he's explained in the Vedic. He explained the Vedic knowledge in many different ways for the understanding of the common mass of people in this Kali Yuga. The Vyasa is also known as the incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, Vyasa also represents Krishna. Kavis are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. Among the Kavi, so Kavi today we know as poets, but in the Vedic context, Kavi means somebody who understands a subject matter thoroughly and can argue about it. So among the Kavis, Ushana, Shukracharya, was the spiritual master of the demons. He was an extremely intelligent and far-seeing politician. Thus, Shukracharya is another representative of the opulence of Krishna. Okay, there's not much to explain here unless anybody has any questions. I'll move on to the next verse. Go ahead, Mataji, again.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dando damayatamasmi niterasmi jigisatam manam chaivasmi guhyanam jnanam jnanavatam aham. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am the wisdom. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Amazing verse. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment. So punishment is not something that's bad. It is a requirement. Mahatma Gandhi, as great as he is as a politician, he wrote a Bhagavad Gita where he mentioned somewhere that if Krishna is a God who is asking to fight, I don't believe in such a God because I don't believe in violence. So we don't follow Mahatma Gandhi's Bhagavad Gita. As we appreciate him as a politician, but we don't follow his Bhagavad Gita because he does not understand this deep concept. punishment is required. Violence has its place. If the police officers and army personnel had given up all their weapons, guess what? Just let's talk about army for a second. China would be taking over, Pakistan would be taking over, right? If the police didn't carry their weapons, would be overcome by all these goons, right? So them having the ability to punish keeps people suppressed, lawless people suppressed within their activities. Even a so-called cultured society like America, when there was the Hurricane Katrina that happened, for that particular few days, there was literally no law, no police could enter. And what they saw became later on a case study for Harvard and many other universities, because perfectly educated people became animals. They were raping, they were looting, they were stealing, they were doing things that even animals won't want to do, just because there was no police, no law and order. George Bush took 3 days to react, and it was already too late. And that was one of the reasons why he got a lot of backlash. But the point is, it was an example what happens when there is no violence, or there is no fear of violence or fear of punishment, right? So punishment is something that keeps the Shudras in check. Not Shudra by birth, but Shudra by mentality. We should understand there are different motivations for different classes of men and women. The Brahmanas are motivated by glory, by appreciation, with knowledge, learning, and things like that. The Kshatriyas, for them, it's power. For the Vaishyas, it's money. For the Shudras, it's fear. Fear of punishment, fear of losing out, fear of all that, right? So different people are motivated differently. That's, once you know this as a manager, as a CEO, you can be a much better at your job. But the point is, punishment has its place, violence has its place. So Mahatma Gandhi, as much as he glorified non-violence, one thing he didn't understand was violence has its place. Duryodhan had to be stopped. These demoniac kings had to be stopped, or they would not only stop at Draupadi, they would go on raping, looting, disrobing many other women, many other doing atrocities on other people. That's who they are. That's what they're known for. So violence is required to stop them. So Krishna is saying here that among suppressing of lawlessness, he is punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. So in victory without morality is not what he's saying. He's saying in victory, what is glorious is the morality, that you morally won something. Cheating and lying and all that victory is not represented by Krishna. But victory that is done morally, that represents Krishna. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I'm the wisdom. So you must have recently seen my latest video on silence, right? So silence has so many uses. So I mentioned 3 things. One was public speaking, how silence can be used to give a dramatic impact. I talked about silence in negotiation. So silence is very powerful, and it can be used in various ways, and it represents Krishna. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay. Of secret things, I'm silence, and of the wise, I'm the wisdom. The purport Prabhupada says there are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down miscreants. With miscreants, when miscreants are punished, the agency of chastisement represents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important, because by silence, one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself. So true wisdom is the ability to distinguish between matter and spirit, right? And that wisdom is coming from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. Para Prakriti is superior nature, us, the spiritual energy of the Lord. And Apara Prakriti means the opposite, inferior nature or material nature, things that don't have consciousness. Both are part of Krishna. The one who's a devotee understands to distinguish between the two. Okay. Any questions so far?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, in the initial, in this class, you have mentioned that like when somebody is having envy in heart, and that is the time when Krishna also makes sure that he's kicked out. So like, I just wanted to check because we also know that envy is the only reason why we are here over in this material world. So how can we keep that in check? Because it might happen that we unknowingly get envious of somebody.
Very
So
nice
that
question. And it's not like Krishna kicks us out because envy is in the heart. Envy is in the heart. All of us, okay, I shouldn't speak for all of us. I have envy in my heart, right? Now, if I act on it to harm somebody, especially a devotee, that's Vaishnava offense. That's when Krishna does not let us stay in the bhakti realm. Having said that, very nice question that you asked. Okay, there is envy. How do we counteract it? This chapter 10 is our toolbox. When we see somebody stronger than me and we're like, I wish I was that strong, and I'm feeling envious towards that person, I can think in my mind, wow, Krishna has very nicely empowered this person. Strength represents Krishna. Somebody is more beautiful than me. Somebody is more richer than me. Somebody is more whatever, eloquent than me, right? We can always see that as a way that Krishna has decorated this person. That thing I'm envious of is representing Krishna. How can I be envious, right? And as we think like that, our consciousness gets purified because we are trying to replace envy with Krishna's presence in that particular quality that we're envious of. That slowly impacts us and the envy goes down. And the same person we felt envious, we actually glorify them. Now, in a devotee realm, what happens when there are devotees who we are envious of? In that case, it's very obvious. Now, my Guru Maharaj says something very nice that I use particularly, that when you see a devotee that you're envious of, think that the qualities that that devotee has, the good quality, every devotee has some good quality. Somebody can sing well, somebody can distribute books well, somebody can do cook well, whatever it is. Like that, focus on the positive quality rather than the negative quality. And think about that positive quality as a decoration from Krishna in proportion to the bhakti that they carry in their heart for Krishna. Now, if you think about life, if you are in a bus, train, tram, airplane, whatever, we are surrounded by thousands and thousands of people around us. Of them, it would be hard to find even one person who cares about Krishna. But one who is a devotee cares about Krishna to whatever degree. And we are envious of them. The focus is to bring to the part that's the caring part for Krishna. It's like, wow, he's my brother or sister because we both have the same goal to please Krishna. We both love Krishna. That's the commonality. Why be envious? Why not collaborate? Why not appreciate? Right? So taking the negative into positive. For a non-devotee in a different way, where they are also same principle. We appreciate the positive things as representing Krishna. By karma, they have received it. For devotees, by mercy, they have received it. And we appreciate that as a testament to the bhakti they carry in their heart. And thereby it pacifies us and not compare. I am here, they're there. Why they're getting this and I'm not getting this. That goes away. Another thing to keep in mind when comparing with devotees is everybody has a past life. We don't know how many past lives one has been a devotee. So somebody might be very young, new to Krishna consciousness and going at rocket speed. And somebody might be struggling in Krishna consciousness for a long time. So although the person is young, they might have had 5 lifetimes before of being a devotee, and they're just continuing from where they left off. And for us, it might be our first life or second life, and we are just, where we are. And we all have our pace. It's not a competition. So in that, if you look at Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada went to the crescendo of his Krishna consciousness after 70 years of age. His disciples were in their 20s and they were conquering country after country, right? Making temples, devotees. Prabhupada couldn't make even one temple. And one temple he made in Jhansi, he got kicked out of there, right? But his disciples were making temples left, right, and center. Lakshmani Mataji, most of you have seen. She has, in the first 6 months of Krishna consciousness, 3 temples. Imagine that, right? So what? They're more empowered than Prabhupada? No. It's just we all have different trajectories. Prabhupada is empowered in a certain way. His disciples empowered. We are empowered in a certain way. So we should not compare with others. That's very, very, it's a guaranteed shot for depression. We should not compare ourselves with others. If we end up doing it, see what the cause of comparison is and see that positive thing. Give it this positive spin, and you will see you will get over envy little by little. Does it help, Krishna?
Surely, Prabhuji. Actually, I was in a fix that should I ask this question, but sometimes I do get all this envious feelings unknowingly. So I thought that I should clarify. So thank you so much.
Most welcome. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna, everyone. Have a good night.
Hare Krishna.